This is Banjo, and today I'm going over the startup procedure for extreme cold weather in the P-51D found in DCS World. Due to the temperatures being 30 below freezing, we're going to leave our ram air and carburetor air controls in the rearward position in an attempt to get as much heat to the engine as possible. They can be increased as necessary, as temperatures may increase during flight depending on how hard you run the aircraft. Due to the coolant and oil temperatures being below freezing as well, I'm going to operate the coolant and oil radiator air controls and close them part way. They can be opened as needed during flight, but for now they can remain closed. Set the propeller pitch to 100% and open the throttle 1 inch as a normal startup, but prime the engine for at least 5 seconds, as in cold weather it takes a bit more priming. Cranking the engine will require you to hold the starter longer due to the cold weather. Do not hold it longer than 20 seconds and let 1 minute pass between attempts. It may take multiple attempts to get the engine started in extreme weather. In this case, the temperature is -30. When the engine does catch, hold in the fuel primer until the engine starts to run at normal levels, and it may be required to hold in the starter a bit longer, but do not exceed the 20 seconds. And when it does catch, be sure to immediately move the mixture into run, but do not move it into run before the engine catches, as you may flood up the engine. With the engine now running properly, we can release the fuel primer and start to dial back the throttle, as the engine's quite cold at the moment, so we don't want to run it too hard. Examining our gauges, we'd see that only our suction and fuel pressure are within normal operating limits. Operate the coolant and oil air controls as needed to get all of your gauges back into normal operating limits. They may not return to full normal, but get them as close as you possibly can, considering the elements. Examining the oil pressure, we can see that it's past 200 pounds per square inch. To fix this, we're going to hold down the oil dilute toggle switch until it returns to a normal reading. This will likely take several minutes, but we can see within probably about 20 seconds of operating it, the oil pressure will start to decrease. At this point, we just need to wait until the engine starts to warm up to get all of our temperature readings back into normal. So I'll make a cut and we'll come back to this in a couple of minutes and see what the gauges read. Examining our gauges now, after a bit of time has passed, we'd see everything is just about normal. Our oil pressure is back to normal, so we could release the oil dilute toggle. At this point, only the carburetor temperature is a bit low, and this is close enough, so I will start my taxi and take off. Be mindful of how your coolant and oil air controls are set up, as they may freeze and get stuck in the position they were left at in flight. In this case, sometimes it's best to leave them on automatic in flight. And finally, be sure to set gun heating and pitot heating on just prior to takeoff.